𝘵𝘰𝘳𝘪𝘡.
𝘥𝘰𝘢𝘵𝘢.
Okie dokie. Get a little bit. Loosen it. We'll use the sentai directions today. Back to and 5 directions. Nice and clear. Up and down to start. A little bit front and back. And the sides. And rotate. And taking the spine to a wave. Okay, great. So we'll start reaching up. Nice deep breath in. And bending from the knees, extending out. Nice and easy down. Press into the ground a little bit. And roll up to the spine. Breathing in. And out and down. And in, down, and then breathing in, and out, and in, and out. One more in, coming down, and just release towards the ground, let the spine, head hang heavy. Take a nice couple of deep breaths here, down, just gently moving the spine. Let the head really sway on the spine. Release the arms from the ground just above the head. Spend a little bit more weight. Nice deep breaths. Nice easy movement of the spine. Okay, and just release the arms back down to the head ground. Nice and slowly bending the knees, slowly up, pressing to the ground. Listen out. Great. Can we just go to the head a little bit, just take it to the sides. Change. Change. Again. Okay, just over to the side, gently looking up. Release towards the front and find the other side. And looking up to increase it. We'll just change the stretch in the neck. Release it, just release the head to the front, nice and heavy. Just pulling the neck around the front. Rolling the chin out. Right, settle the head, go to the shoulders. A little bit bigger, really open up the chest. Good, and change direction. Big circles out to the back. And changing forwards. Good. Changing to the side. Good, change. Great, yeah, rolling out the elbows. Feel a bit free with this, you can roll them anyway, drop them down, raise them up. You can alternate them, you can roll them together. Just play around a little bit with it. Good, and just working the wrist, just play with first circles, then just play with them a little bit. See, the elbow's going to go with it a little bit, but we focus on rolling through the wrists. You can roll them together, play with the arms anyway, with the hands in any position. And then just play with figure of eights with them, so just working down. And trace that figure of 8 with the wrist. One way. See if you can change direction. Good. Okay. You're just rolling the wrist here and then spreading out the fingers at the top. Roll them down. Spread them out. So. Good. I'm going to change direction with this one. Oh, some closing. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Great, and then just loosen out the arm. Just really flicking out the wrist, fingers, the elbow. Stay released and relaxed. And just let the arms come across the body. Great. Okay, just with the palms out, fingers towards each other. Settle the legs and just rotating them back. Let the eyes follow the hands and the head with it. And the twisting all the way to the back. Great. You do the other side so you kind of thumbs together. Press that way and then press it out a little bit wider with the arms. Spread the shoulders and the hands. Spread the shoulders and the hands here. Okay, nice and easy, just reaching up off into the side, just as far as comfortable. Slowly back, stretch, reach up, and take the body over. Good, one more time, reaching up. And back, and the other side. And slowly back. Right. Just rolling out the hips. Big circles. And the other side. The other way. Good. Bring the feet together, releasing the knees. Good. Just take one step out here. Just make it movement a little bit deeper with the knees. The hips down, a little bit deeper. Good. Okay, press back into the heels. Roll out the knees. And keep the feet in contact. Keep the toes. Okay, change direction. The inside out. Good, and this one, bring the heel up, come down a little bit deeper. Use the hands if you need. Bring the heel up. Shift a little bit more weight into the toes here. And what you can do with this one, just play in this case with sinking into one leg and just raising up the heel a little bit more. So you're just stretching out the toes gently. So sink into one side. So you can do this to yours. You can kind of think about pulling the knee up, the knee up, or you can think about bringing it towards the ground as well. So that just work those two directions. Pull the knee up, press the knee to the ground. Pull the knee up, press the knee to the ground. You can also do this with without the hands, obviously, if you want. It's a little bit trickier. A bit more control with the arms down. So, very good. Okay, just take a bit of time here, just sit down. Just release. Press the hands out and then just take them a little bit further forwards. Yep. Press weight into the hands. Pull the legs, knees up. Pull the knees back. Just lengthen out the back of the legs. And so you're in a kind of shorter position. Yeah, the arms a little bit out and just work in this case, the heels up and down. And just working the toes, mainly. A little bit for the backs of the legs, but not too much. Stretch is not too deep. Just rolling through the toes a little bit. Just bring the hands back. And just roll up to a standing. Okay, just take the toes down really loose, just on the points of the toes, the ends of the toes, really loose, hardly any weight in it, just roll very small circles. And just play here with the toes being folded over and curled up. Okay, releasing the knee. Yeah, the first thing is if you can, or imagine you've got actually something there in front of you, actually rolling the knee around it or rolling the foot around it. So that kind of feeling with it as you do it. Something like that. Just if you just work both ways with it. Rolling around. Okay, releasing out the foot. Okay, the other side. Nice light circles in the toes. Let's roll and fold it under, fold it up. Fold it. Okay, and rolling around, releasing the knee. And the other way. Releasing out the foot. Okay, good. We'll just take a little bit of swinging practice too. Really whole body movements. Just start with the vertical one. So like kind of shoulder width apart. Release the arms down. Releasing. Great, just keep going. Nice. Great. So there's one variation here you can do, which is basically you're including the hands in it. So what the hard part with this, and one of the reasons this one's difficult, is as soon as I start to include the hands in it, the shoulders might start to tighten up. So what I want to do is really think about you're kind of engaging the hand in a sense. You're kind of spreading the. I think about in this case like spreading the little finger and the what's that, thumb, the thumb. Spread them away from each other. Spread them away, but without kind of going into that position. So it's kind of a curled position. The fingers. I basically think. It's that kind of position. So it's basically that kind of position with it. So as if you're kind of holding a ball, or a bowl, or a ball. That kind of position. Okay, just feel that and feel that you can kind of release the shoulders with it, but really tension in the hands basically. And then do the same movement here. Raise up and release down. Raise up and release down, but keep in that kind of position in the arms without feeling that it's going to kind of tense the shoulders up through it. So play with this a little bit. We're just really focusing on keeping the knees relaxed, shoulders relaxed, and just feel that tension in the hands. And the forearm. But without it kind of compromising the freedom in the joints, especially elbows and shoulders. That's it. That's it. Nice. Good. Okay. And then there's another variation of this where you tension also the feet. So you're going to do that by raising the heel out of the ground gently. So really, really lightly out of the ground. And you do the same thing with the hands. So you're really focusing on the feet and the hands in this case. But everything else in between, although those are tension, everything else is kind of released. So you stay on the toes if you can. If you feel like the toes are going to fall back onto the heels as you do it, but if you can, try and maintain that kind of tension in the foot. And the foot's really like that kind of position, trying to grip into the ground. Yeah. It's actually quite a tricky one to do. That's it. Yeah, nice. So you're kind of tensioning the feet or the arch in the arch in the foot, and you're tensioning the hands, the kind of arc in the hands.
Babies, monkeys do.
How's it feel?
It's what babies and monkeys do, huh?
Yeah, right. It's like, yeah. So if you think about it, it's like, I mean, especially any kind of jits or any kind of jitsu or any kind of aikido or martial art, which I need grabbing skills or strong skills, and I need grounding skills. I need to really use the hands like that, but I need the rest of the body to be really free. Like I were watching some jiu-jitsu guys yesterday, and they're like super free, but really strong grips. Like you can't get out of the grips, but they're just like snakes for the rest of the body. So those are that's like a really great skill to have. But anyway, like just yeah. Good. That's it. Good. Okay. So we'll come back to that, but just release out the hands a little bit. So just release the hands. Lift the legs. Hold on here, the arms, knees, shoulders, elbows, hips, everything nice and loose. Let's make it a bit smaller each time. Just coming to standing. Great. Okay, we will do bookend. Okay. Good. So just start a few just nice slow 𝘱𝘪𝘐 work. So just working on the first 𝘱𝘪𝘐. No real focus at the end, just a sense of settling into the position. Nice big. Opening at the top and settling at the bottom. Good. Okay, good. So we'll work on this kind of in a way and get that kind of skill, which is like this gripping skill, but keeping the body kind of relaxed and heavy. So this especially comes up if you think about 𝘱𝘪𝘐𝘪 dori, grab, a two-hand grab, and basically you've got someone that can really grab strongly, seal the grip, but also they're kind of flexible in the body, that they feel heavy and they feel connected, and that's the kind of skill you want. What you want to avoid in a sense of this is like I go rigid and I'm basically like I lock the body into one piece. Now people like that can be like daunting to deal with, but they're actually easy to deal with because once I can get the balance, I can basically take them away. The person that's really flexible and can absorb into the body, but keep you sealed in the grip, they're the person you kind of deal with. They're hard to deal with. So just play with the sword just to get out of the sword cut for a bit. Just take the sword this way so that the blades, the pointy ends that way. I'm just taking this way, and just imagine you're taking into basically a 𝘱𝘪𝘐𝘪𝘐 grip or two-hand grip. So in this case, we'll just work with the right foot forward. It's a bit easier, but we'll do both sides. But so just feel that you kind of the feelings that you seal into the grip, and that you really settle the body. So the first thing is just focus on the hands and the feet. So what we did before is like that arch in the hand, tensioning the hands and tensioning the foot. Now we don't do that, and especially with the feet, we don't do that. The feel is just to settle the weight into it. But my contact is really in a way solid with the ground. So just focus on hands and feet as you settle into it. It's that exact same motion that you do with the cut. That sense of settling and focusing into the hand. And just start with like the strongest grip you can do on the weapon. Now, obviously, in terms of our grip, it's going to be the little fingers first, following up. But also you can explore in a way like these kind of grips and just feel where it affects the body as you kind of change the grip. So you've also got like a front, three kind of grips. You've got a front focus grip where I'm focusing on that, there. You've got a kind of mid focus grip where I'm kind of like a hammer on it. Like everything's kind of equal and I'm kind of pressing everything down. And you've got the grip we tend to kind of go towards, which is the kind of back of the hand, the back of the fingers. As you do the front and the back ones, just feel that in both hands you can release the other fingers. So they should feel kind of soft in a way. And if I go to the front grip, I should be able to, it's a little bit trickier. I should be able to kind of release the grip there. But just play with kind of going in between. And just notice how the grip's basically affecting the rest of the body. Yeah. So strong grip and strong feeling of really sinking the weight down to the ground. Just start with that. That's nice. Good, and just take it to the other side, just a few. Again, just explore. You can go anywhere around the bottom bar. Oh, yeah. Just explore that left side. Again, exploring different grips. But really just focusing on hands and feet. Just really feel. The main thing here that we'll work on is also as you grip in, that what things sinking into the feet again. A few exercises also just to kind of test that connection. A few on one side, a few on the other.
Morning.
Hey, Srin. Good morning. So, what are we doing? Okay, so Serena, imagine you were working with a bokken. Imagine you're doing a 𝘰𝘪𝘴𝘪𝘐 grip. So imagine you're gripping someone's wrist, two hands on one. So you're just going to take the, I'm just using the bokken with the end, pointy end back. So just going into grip. And all I want you to do is just focus on the hands and the feet. Okay, so strong grip, strong as you can. Really full grip and full contact with the ground, with the feet. Yeah, so. So what we'll do, we will go through a kind of few positions with this. So there's tons of positions where we use it. We use it all the time. If you think about any joint lock technique, I've basically got that sealed grip, full contact with the ground, and then I'm basically going to engage the body with it. So we'll start with the easy one. It's actually one of the last techniques we ever learned, which is 𝘰𝘰𝘢𝘢, which is where you're kind of using the pressure point on the arm and pressing into the nerves here. But it's really basically just the basic shortcut that we do. So what I want you to do is get there, and then just feel that you're engaging here. Now, there's a slight twist happens with the grip, so I keep full in the grip. It doesn't really come from the hands. It's not that I'm doing this and wringing the grip. It's actually coming from the contact of the hip and rolling around it this way. So what happens, what you should feel happen, is you go from like this contact to this part of the knuckle and that in the top finger, basically pressing in. So some people do it with like this part of the knuckle, and that in this case you're pressing into the nerve here, this part, or it's actually better is this part of the wrist of the hand. It's a bit sharper in my case. So you can use this or this, but it's basically the pressure of that knuckle pressing in. So it's the base of the knuckle, and you're doing this in both hands in this case. So that's the back hand and the front hand. Depending on the 𝘰𝘰𝘢𝘢, depending on the technique, I've either got a closed grip or an open grip. So sometimes you're in this position, sometimes I'm on the hand, sometimes I'm in a different position, but they're all the same in that I'm basically rolling into this way. Now once you've got the feeling that you can make that contact, keeping that grip seated, just feel that you're basically rolling into it with the hip. So the direction in this case obviously is down. that way. And just play with this on both sides. So that position, and that position, that position. Now the key is that I can basically keep the seal in the grip and engage the body through it. So the body really needs to be kind of in a way quite relaxed to do it. All the joint system needs to be open. Just play and press. Seal, connect and press in. So.
Michael,
Yeah, sure.
if you apply this and you position right your hands, you're following this.
Yes.
Would you then start from the inside and curl this inward so they could take literally the how to show this? So they can go this way, so you rotate.
You're actually in a case. Think about how to control the elbow. You're actually pressing. I'm going to find a video of Jon. We've got a video of 𝘰𝘰𝘠𝘦. I'm going to try and find it. But think about if you control the elbow. I actually need it kind of twisting away from the arm as well. So in a way, think about the 𝘰𝘰𝘠𝘦 in a way is like an application in a sense, a kind of application of 𝑘𝘰𝑎𝑖.
Yeah.
You've got the arm in a similar position to that, but you're applying that pressure through the. Yeah, it's got that twist because you're creating a kink in the wrist and you're creating a kink at the elbow. So that you've got that position. And the key thing with that is that the nerve's exposed, and I'm actually
and then you rotate
in that way, so I can control the joint that way.
Yeah.
Whereas if I twist it the other way, I can
it's gone.
drop the elbow out of it. Out of the technique.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So it's like
really. If you do this strongly, especially in aura direction, you're really rotating into this.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. We'll play with the 𝘰𝘰𝘠𝘦 as well. So in the case of 𝘰𝘰𝘢, it's a good one because you've got the connection here. So I've got the 𝘰𝘰𝘢𝘵 grip here. It's a bit up. So the assumption is either the person's trying to escape, or I'm just playing with them, or I can take them anywhere I want with it. So there's either an assumption that they're going to stand up, and then I basically follow them, and then I rotate the body with it. So the body's going to rotate. In this case, to the outside. This is classic sword work. So this is actually I raise the sword up, and then I cut it back this way. So in this case, the foot works like this. If I got the right foot forward, I raise it up, the seal is on, and then I press out towards my left, and then I press the weight into my right foot. And at the same time, I basically slice the hip down. So it's a bit, again, it's a kind of application of this slice. In this case, it's raised up, gently raised up, and then the slice is basically this way with the hip. Just play with this left and right, but this is basically slice to the outside. Let's see if I can find. Oh, there we
See you
go.
later.
Thanks, Ella. See you soon.
See you.
I had been playing with this yesterday from 𝘱𝑰𝑗𝑒𝑚𝑎.
Ah, nice.
And when it's on, it's really on. So there is no way to escape this. Even if you try to, you just go up and then you get this feeling, which is much stronger than sometimes an emotive version.
Yes. Yeah.
Your whole body is behind this movement.
Yeah. I mean, this is one also. It's like if it's on, I've really just got to go with it. I don't really have a choice with it, like.
You definitely do not want to struggle that position.
Don't want to fight it at all in this one. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's on YouTube. There we go. I'll just show you the video. So we've got we'll kind of go from this, but so this is the 𝘰𝘰𝘠𝘦 slow motion. So the 𝘰𝘰𝘠𝘦 is actually on now. Actually, before that, so you'll notice like the wrist is being jointed and the grip's really sealed here, and then there's the application onto it. And this is the base of the cut of the body, which is dropped down. We didn't film this great, but that's the kind of application down. So you can see basically the wrists are basically rolling into it. And the top of the knuckle, especially on this hand, is basically rolling into the wrist this way. I don't know if we filmed the 𝘰𝑰𝘠𝘦. I think we did, but it was a bit bad. Oh, sorry, it's in the machine. So that's the grip, and then that's the basic cut down of the body. Dropping all the way down that way. So nice technique, and I really like pure sword work in a sense. So we'll just play with a few more and go into a little bit more. But that there's the sense with this is that you, again, feel that you've got that grip. Now, one thing that's good to play with, if you imagine, one thing we do in techniques is if you think about like trying to find a technique, in this case, it just go to koteyashi. So I've got someone that's loose and I'm just trying to find the technique, find the angle with it. Now, just imagine you're doing that with a partner. So I've got the grip, I've got it sealed, and I'm just going to play with basically connecting my body through the grip, and then that sense that I can connect it and drop the weight into it this way. Okay? So just play with this both sides. But it's basically really the same mechanics we use with the sword, that sense that I've got that, connect, and then engage the hip. So it's all basically connected body moving together. Hopefully got a strong grip, that connect, and just play with either the 𝘰𝘠𝘦𝘴𝘠, which is basically to slice it down to the front, or the 𝘰𝘰𝘢𝘵, which is basically cast it out and down. But they both involve this kind of cutting or slicing motion with the body. And again, it's like technique, but again, go back to the level of also skill. I want a strong grip, engage through it, and the ability to keep the body flexible to it. So in a sense, that's the kind of skill of it. Now, like the 𝘵𝘠𝘠𝘦𝘴𝘠, 𝘱𝘭𝘢𝘵𝘢𝘵𝘠, they all deal with that theme, or that skill, just in a various kind of configurations. So. Hey, Isabel. Hello. Good morning. We'll do one more. Just look at a 𝘵𝘠𝘢. So just the pin and the finish. So in a sense, this is easier, but it's a bit close to the body in a sense. So really relies on that skill to basically connect to the arms and then use the body to do it. So just in this case, you're going to we'll come up to the form where basically I'm resting it onto the body this way. So the key hand with this, although this one does a lot of the motion, in the case of the basic one, is actually the back hand. So think that you kind of seal the grip. You're going to kind of just gently press the weapon into the clavicle, not too high up, but you don't want to go into the throat. So just play with that, yeah, and just work your way into, just find that kind of 𝘵𝘠𝘢 shape. So it's basically that same kind of motion, this way. And again, the focus is basically on the little finger, ring finger, basically rolling into the grip. And again, feel in this case, especially with the 𝘵𝘠𝘢 and this one that comes to the body, I don't want to feel that I lock the joint system in that way. I want to feel that there's still the space in the wrist, the space in the elbow, and the space, especially in the shoulder in this case. But it's just in a way like sealing and draining down into place. So there's a ringing of the body. But it's in this case, often people talk about this being a ringing motion in a sense like that. But actually think about this as the whole body. It's actually it's the whole body basically engaging through it. Now that happens in the hands, but it's not about that movement in the hands. It's just going to do that. And what I actually want is like a closing. So it's a kind of closing movement of the body, or basically a cutting motion. So just play with that again, strong grip, but engaging the body through it. Yeah, nice. Nice. Yeah, okay. Now, one of the mistakes people make with 𝘵𝘠𝘢, in a sense, is to like fall into it. So what happens is I connect the upper body, and then the upper body goes forward with it. Now, you'll see this in the seminar videos, or everyone starts laughing on the seminar, but Saito does this like, sorry. So he does it basically with a bow. He does it, ooh, and sorry, drops it. So just play with this, but it's like lock. You can actually lock the whole body, lock the upper body, and lock the neck, and then just feel that the hip can hinge. Hip can hinge. Now that's different. If the hip hinges, then the body going forward this way. Just feel the difference between the body goes forward and the hip hinges. This is rigid because I'm then locking the upper body, but just feel the only part of the body is going to move is the hip. It's basically foundation work, but hinge the hips, release the knees. Now that feeling of dropping down, but really roll the body into it. So the hips initiating that motion, but I'm keeping the upper body still flexible. So that kind of motion, but not that kind of motion where the body basically falls forward. So yeah, if you think about saw, it's the difference between pressing the body out and actually just dropping it to the cut this way. So in essence, in the case of the Nikkei, I want the person to just like drop at my feet, basically. I don't want them to be like, look, I'm not trying to push them away. I want to basically drop them at the feet, and then I can follow up with a pin or a strike or whatever. So that's it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, good. And we'll take it to the pin as well. So you've got the application and then you've got the follow-up into the pin. I'm going to show a video of this because it's really super clear what we're aiming for. There's in a way two pins. There's one, if I've got a stiff uke, where I'll take the elbow. But ideally I've got someone that's kind of flexible and I can basically cut through the joint as I do it. So let's show a video with Lewis and Paul. So let's see. You can see this, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now just watch the follow up from the pin. So there's the pin, and then watch this. Whoom, through the joint. So that kind of like really, like in this case, like Paul's super flexible. So you've got that feeling. Whoom, through the joint. That kind of slice down into the joint. I think all of them are the same. These are all variations on the Nikkei. That's the one you can also do. That's the kind of, in a way, like in this kind of ura pin, where you drop them down and then you find the elbow there, and then you spiral to the back. So we'll look at both of them. Through both of them, just see the others. What's this? So these are all variations of Nikkei, depending on what the uke does. In case the elbow goes up. So is that same pin. But that first one's really, really clear. That slice through. Again, pure like sword work, that kind of slice through the 𝘱𝘠𝘦. Okay, we'll look at that. So just go again back into that Nikkei. So find the position, you drop into it. And in the case of that one, I'm going to keep that grip, keep the left hand grip. In this case, I've got the right foot forward. I'm going to release this hand and I'm basically going to slice it down. And at the same time, this is going to open out this way. So it's like a kind of roll through the grip this way. So I release and roll it. Now, this is a key movement for the Nikkei because, or in the case where you're dealing with variations, people pull the arm up, they can pull it away, they can fold into it. I basically need, in a sense, this hand to be quite free on the grip so that I can basically change it depending on the position of the sword, or in this case, the arm, the sword. Depending on that, I can change this grip. So this is actually also an extension of that. I find the grip, I extend into it, and then this hand's actually quite loose. So I've actually sealed the Nikkei with this hand. So that, and then that, this way. You just play with both sides again. So you've got that, you extend, find it, and then release and roll into it that way. As a straight one. That's but again, it's generally just an extension of this idea of like strong grip, but also flexible body, and flexible enough to be able to really drop the weight down and into that kind of cutting motion. Yeah, good. Let's see. And then just look at the other variation, which in a way is a kind of ura variation, or this is an ura anyway of the Nikkei, but you've got the application here. And in this case, I'm not going to do that cutting motion, but I'm just going to open the hand out, and I'm basically going to open this hand out and basically fall onto the elbow here. And this is done with a rotation of the body. So you've got this in, apply, release, and spiral to the back. This way. So you're in, that, engage, and release, find the elbow into the rotation. So sort of like a bit of a bigger variation. And this, I'll always use this if I feel that the person's a bit stiff or a bit tense. I'll do this to just kind of protect the joint system as well. Yeah, good. 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 Okay, good. And we'll just explore one more. I'll just show you in the video as well, so it's really clear. Let's see. This is a variation where I've got the 𝘵𝑰𝑂, and just before I seal it onto the body, they pull the arm away. Right, so it's the setup's like this. So you go there. I'm about to get the 𝘵𝑰𝑂, and then boom, they pull the arm out. Right, so this is again, it's a test of that skill to connect with the grip. The grip stays on, and you just follow them and apply it into the grip. This way. So one more time. There we go. I am about to apply, and boom, they pull the arm. So I follow them and press it down that way. Yeah. So again, it's a kind of extension of a skill. I think about this. I've got the grip, and the person tries to pull away from me. Now I've got a choice. I can either try and resist it, and we end up splitting away, or I just follow them with the body. Now, again, the change is not with the arms, so I don't chase them with the arms. I actually follow them with the body. So imagine, in this case, imagine. So I'm about to come into the grip. I'm about to get to this position, and then imagine someone pulls the sword away from me. That happens, right? We're going to use a bit of imagination with this, but it's like, damn, I'm about to see the sword gets pulled away. Now, okay, I can split from that motion and try and resist it, but it's going to happen anyway. They're going to pull away. So all I need to do in this case is just it pulls, and I just follow it with the body. And then once I get to that position, once I follow it, I keep the grip, and I just apply the body down into it. So I just accept that I've not got her on the body. I get there, follow it with the body, and then press it in this way. So imagine you actually do this with a lot of things, but it's basically that I've got the grip and try to escape. I keep the grip and I just follow it in that way. Just play this a little bit.
Michael, I see this particularly in different styles of Aikido, where they take the 𝘵𝑰𝑂 actually at a distance and then apply it in this way.
Yes.
Instead of close by.
Yeah. I mean, in a sense, if you think about in the system, the system in a way is to bring it to the body, so it actually teaches that movement of the body. Because I can't really do the 𝘵𝑰𝑂 and apply it with the arms in that position.
No.
So I've got to basically just connect into the body and do it with the body.
Then drop.
Yeah. And then all those variations come from, it's close to the body, I've sealed the connection, and then I can explore these kind of positions.
Yeah.
If I've got that connection. But again, if I'm doing this kind of stuff, that 𝘵𝑰𝑂 just won't work at all. I'm basically pulling myself out of the ground. So the idea is that it's like dum. So it's like that difference between that, and that's the same motion.
Yeah, and I do get that feeling when I'm practicing in the other dojo where they practice it at a distance.
Right.
I find it really easy to apply a 𝘵𝑰𝑂 even at a distance, and other people are really struggling to find the 𝘵𝑰𝑂 because they will not be able to apply the 𝘵𝑰𝑂 correctly. Yeah. So they're pushing up from top down instead of just dropping down. And also the great thing about this is, I mean, these are also done like in response to someone doing something. Like if I've actually got that 𝘵𝑰𝑂 grip and they pull out it, they actually apply it to themselves. Anyway. Yeah, they walk in. It's in a case. I mean, there's a couple of cases where they walk into it or they bring the arm. They just walk into a different variation of the 𝘵𝑰𝑂. Yeah. This is this saying from one teacher, which is like joint locks are a gift kind of thing. So they're like presented to me, and then I just take them. It's that boom, I take it that way. Adrian.
Abuse, clear abuse by Serena.
But then I give them what they want. They want to pull the arm away. Okay, follow them. You want to bend the other way. Okay, follow it. So all of these base that same position. But this is where it's really like sword work. Because I've basically got one cut that I do. I'm going to cut to the center of the body, and depending where you move, I'm going to cut to the center of the body. So I'm always the aim with that. It's like I've got the grip and I go to the center. I'm trying to like compromise the person's center with the joint. So basically sword work. Really easy. We make it difficult, but it's actually quite easy in sense. If I have the right grip, that's the point. If I have a good grip. Serena, what are you doing? You've got a teddy. Ah, okay, cool. Good. Good, soft, cuddly toy. Yeah, that's a good one to do. Good. Okay, perfect. Okay, great. We'll start that. A bit of a strange test, anyway. But anyway, the point of that is that it's training the skills. So when you're doing these 𝘏𝑰𝘠𝘬𝑛 and all that stuff, you're apart from other things, you're also training that grip strength, which Psychosensor says in the book is like is an art in itself, like the ability to grip well and hold someone well. That is actually a technique in itself. You can hold someone down with a grip. You don't need technique really for that. So, okay, we'll bow up anyway. Okay. Right. どうもありがとうございました。
どうもありがとうございました。
Great. Very good. Here we go.
Thank you.
Oh.